Hello, and welcome to Hand Engraving Design Simplified. The goal of this series is to give you knowledge to enable you to design for your hand engraving projects. A great foundation must be laid. The stronger the foundation, the better our results. Hand engraving is an extremely exciting art form, probably because it's very difficult to do well with pleasing results. This series is all about learning to see. You will learn many concepts and principles vital to your designing. We will begin with the absolute basics. This is our elementary school. It is the very basis of learning to learn. This series will start and build as if you knew absolutely nothing about hand engraving design, and we will make it extremely simplified. To begin, let's look at a good analogy. When we were first learning, we were told that this is the letter A. Then we were shown this is how you could write it. To make the A, we knew there were 3 essential lines. We just needed to learn to put them together correctly. Our first attempt looked like an A, but it wasn't very pleasing. But we kept trying. We didn't give up, and we got better. Then one day, we were able to make a very pleasing A. Our goal was to be an author and write books. So we learned how to write all the numbers and all the letters pleasing. Then we began to use our letters to make words. At first we weren't very successful. We kept trying, and finally we got it. Our first attempts to make sentences weren't very good, but not giving up paid off. We continued to study and practice, and soon we were able to make paragraphs. And then we knew how to make chapters and learned how to make a book. And finally, we could have inspiration. This analogy shows us exactly what we will be doing in our Hand Engraving Design Simplified series. This is our elementary school, learning to learn. It is the building of our foundation, learning to see. The foundation that we will be building will be solid and strong, ensuring our greatest possibility for success. Let's look at how we're going to build on that foundation. One way to think about it is that we would have 3 steps involved. These 3 steps would allow us to advance upward. The purpose of advancing would be to achieve our ultimate goal. Our steps don't have to be in this order, and we can work on them simultaneously. Our first step could be to learn to design. Our second step could be to learn how gravers work. And our third step could be doing the actual engraving. And not unexpectedly, each of these steps will have steps within them for advancing. We can think of each of these as hurdles to be overcome. Looking within the design step, we can see many steps or hurdles, some larger, some smaller. The purpose of Hand Engraving Design Simplified is to get you up these steps efficiently. Right now, it's essential that we lay the cornerstone upon which our foundation will be built. This cornerstone is energy, frequency, and vibration. Specifically, everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. One example for us is when we see something, what is really happening, we're receiving EFV from what we're looking at. We will go into great depths about energy, frequency, and vibration in later episodes. Now let's look at the many subjects that we will be learning about in this Learning to See series. Dots Make Lines is episode number 2, and it is crucial for us to grasp. In our episode about knowing lines, we will begin with the straight line. The principles of the arc and the curve will be also there. The fantastic concept of rate of change is also in knowing lines. And knowing lines wouldn't be complete without the beauty line. Another episode is negative space, including backgrounds. We will learn about how the line continues in a full episode. Focal points is another very enjoyable episode. We have one whole episode devoted to design harmony. We'll find ourselves tapping our foot as we go through the design rhythm episode. We have an entire episode about flow in our design. The evaluations and corrections episode is a very valuable tool. Another indispensable tool is in the How to Study and Learn episode. Then in later episodes, we will do designs and go through the actual thought processes step by step. Episodes build in sequence, so it's best to study in order. In learning to see, we will develop a feel for a pleasing design and all its design elements. The feel of a design is the emotion we receive. The feel and emotion is a result of energy, frequency, and vibration we receive from the design. We will just simply call it EFV. Positive art elicits an emotion, which is energy, and EFE. As we are observing, energy flows. The emotion and energy comes to us. Similarly, what we put into our work travels to the new owner. We must always place positive EFE into all of our work. What EFE we put in will always be received. There are three natures of EFE: positive, negative, and neutral. Pleasing results come from positive EFE, whereas negative EFE is disturbing. And we know neutral would be neither. When we evaluate designs like this, let's not think of dislike or disapproval. Instead, we should think of it as disturbing or bothersome. Thinking of it this way allows for corrections. Additional helpful thoughts would be: always never pass up the opportunity to ask ourselves how we could do it better. In our using positive EFE, always believe in yourself and find a way. Thank you very much, and I hope this series will help you. The next episode is Dots Make Lines, and I will publish it just as soon as it's totally completed.